Hello and welcome. Maybe not. Hello and welcome to FDT-TV. This week hosted by none other than Barry White. He's joined by two other people who are over that side of the screen.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Phil with a disappearing hand.
And I'm not really Barry White. I've just got a cold. Don't sing too much. We get copyrighted. Right, this week we've got a lot to fit in because there has been a lot that has gone on during derby games, essentially. But before we get started with that, over the last 28 days we've had a lot of views, but only 74% of you are subscribed. So we're going to get it in early. There is a button down below that says subscribe. Click on it.
Bing, bing.
I don't know where it is.
Nothing more to be said. If you're listening to the audio only version, then go over to our YouTube channel, which is, if you type in FDT-TV, you'll see our big yellow cup. Press subscribe. It's much appreciated, and it allows us to know if we're doing the right sort of things. Get involved. That being said, we had some good goals at the weekend. Phil, as always, on Twitter, run a little poll. What was your poll this week, Phil?
Well, I chose 3 good goals from the weekend. There was a number of goals as well to choose from. We had Amendola Lookman for Fulham, who actually scored a goal. It was a pretty good goal. He took on half the field and had a good little finish. Fernandes, Man United, and it wasn't a penalty, so I thought I'd actually put one in that wasn't a penalty, even though he did miss one as well. And then you had Lanzini, who put a rocket into the top corner, which is potentially, so far, the goal of the season.
I think it's safe to be said that's going to be up there as one of the votes for goal of the season. It's got to be. It's an absolute blinder of a shot.
Yeah. Final votes are in. No one else can vote anymore. And we have one winner. 29% of the votes was Lookman. 0% went to Fernandes. So Man United fans aren't liking this at all. But Lanzini, the runaway winner, with 71% of the votes.
Got to say, it's not really surprising, is it?
I was an absolute belter.
I had no voice.
I was talking to my dad at the time, and because I run the Sky Go through my PlayStation. He was obviously watching the TV, so I just heard him go, "Yes, thank you." I was like, what's happened? And he goes, "Oh, what a beauty!" And I was like, "Oh my god, who scored? And obviously, then a few seconds later, my TV decided to catch up, and I was exactly the same as an absolute worldie. There was no stopping that at all.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't turn off after 20 minutes. I know a fair few people did because they're like, well, this game's dead.
Including Tottenham.
Well, we were talking, weren't we, Ian? And I was like, "Oh, have you seen the game?" And you went, "We're going to get a Tonkin."
It was just very, very bad, that first bit. And that is a nice little segue, actually, into one good, one bad. Should we start off in order of the games? Who played first?
It was the Anfield derby.
Oh, yes. Of course it was.
Yeah, good game.
I can't say it was the Anfield derby. It was a Goodison Park. You're second home, mate. I've got the shirt to prove
We've
it.
both played at Anfield.
Everton did first.
Yeah, then you robbed it.
Yep. Learned that.
We did not rob it. We paid for it in hard cash. They just couldn't afford to stay there. Anyway, yes, one good. We didn't lose. A good response from the week before at Villa. Come back with a stronger squad, and we should have won. And the one bad is Virgil van Dijk's potentially out for numerous months, needing some surgery.
7 to 8 months, I heard.
Potentially, but we'll have to see what happens.
Shouldn't that be one good?
No, it's one bad. It's good for everyone else in the world. But
Yeah,
bad for
well.
us.
So,
Would you not say, sorry, just to chime in there, would you not say that he's been a little bit ropey this season so far?
I know he's made a few bad calls, but that's just a new thing. I think he's been quite good.
Okay.
I reckon it was because he was concerned they were going to get tonked like they did against Aston Villa. He's like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm injured. He's paid the doctors
one
off.
should be
I'm
doing
injured.
that.
Obviously,
Yeah.
we don't mean, or we don't wish anyone ill on this channel. It was a very unfortunate circumstance.
It was a big tackle.
Lord,
It should not have happened.
You're
great.
right. He shouldn't have been offside.
So stop it. I hurt to laugh. It hurts. So we can get into that in a bit because I feel there's a section called VAR on this list in front of me, and that's certainly going to come up, I think. So, Mike, Arsenal then played Manchester City.
Yep.
I did turn that one off, if I'm honest. But give us your one good, one bad.
The one good, I'd say. It's hard to pick out anything good from that game because, as you said, it was a bit of a diabolical game. I think City were there for the taking. We should have gone all beans at them.
Mhm.
We didn't. We stood off. I would possibly say the one good was Bukayo Saka. He was the only player I can think that actually wanted to change the game. I would say Gabriel Magalhaes was a close second,
Right.
because he put in a good few blocks. But I've got to say my one bad was Mikel Arteta's tactics this week. I didn't understand it at all. We had Willian up top, playing in a false 9 position. Aubameyang seems to be off the boil at the moment since he signed his contract. Pepe was okay. Bellerin was a bit rubbish. Just Tierney was a little bit rubbish. I just think the tactics were wrong.
Fair
Thomas
enough.
Partey paid 45 million for him, and he played 8 minutes. The game should have been changed up around about 60, 65 minutes. No, what we were doing wasn't working.
Didn't
We
he
needed
play?
to inject something.
Didn't he play 3 internationals though? I think he played in all 3 games, didn't he?
But even still, I would have liked to have seen him get more than 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I appreciate, obviously, you don't want to get players burnt out with just coming to the club. But, I just think Mikel Arteta's tactics were wrong this week. That's my bad.
Well, there's always
Also,
there's always next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But then even then, does he not need a bit more time to embed into the team and the philosophy that Arteta wants him to play under?
He's a professional footballer. He should be able to. His job there is a defensive midfielder. He's
Yeah.
basically sit in front of the defence
And
needs to stop
smash
going
it,
through.
smash Aguero every time he gets the ball. That's
Yeah,
job done, isn't
I'd
it?
say
Successful.
we had Fabinho for 6 months before he even started coming into the team, and now he's getting in there all the time.
Yeah, but he played right back when he come to you, and then he played right back for
Defensive
Monaco more often than not, and he's gone in as a defensive midfielder. But best game
moving on to your game.
best game of the weekend. The one we start off with one bad because we always like bad news first. We had a very, very slow start, and no more needs to be said about it than that. It was a very slow start against a very good Tottenham team. The one
Took you
good,
82 minutes to get into the game.
well, one good. I'm going to give it to him is Manuel Lanzini's goal, and I'm even going to change it to one great because it was a great goal. Little bit of information: Tottenham have set a new record, and there'll probably be a DVD coming out about it. They're the first team ever to be 3-0 up at 81 minutes and come away with a draw. I'll say that not come away with all 3 points. So
Well done, Spurs.
yeah, so DVD coming 2021. Or,
That'd be
or
Christmas, won't it?
just yeah,
Surely come out for
quite
Christmas.
possibly. I was going to say it might be an early release. Just if you pre-order, you can get it for Christmas. Yeah. So there's no more to be said. We were rubbish in the first 16 minutes, and then we bossed the game. So don't know what changed. But hey ho, we didn't win. It felt like a win, but we should have won.
Maybe it was the introduction of Gareth Bale that made the difference.
Nah, after that 16 minutes, I think they was like, oh, we've done this now. And they just sort of they relaxed a bit, and we upped our game. Right, the next thing on this list is a subject we all love, some more than others. Disdain. I think we've all got disdain for this next item. Is probably a better description. That is VAR. So I'm assuming there is one person and one person only who's got lots to say on the VAR.
But we'll leave me out. We'll talk to Phil.
Tell you what, I've still got my hands in bandages. I got burnt so badly by VAR this weekend.
Oh, that's a horrible pun. You're scraping the barrel with that. Come on, give us your rundown of the VAR controversy this week.
Where should we start? So, first of all, we'll go with in order of the game. So, was it a red card or was it offside? Who cares? It was a red card no matter what. I think the referee was the one at fault, not VAR for this, because VAR was just looking at the offside. I don't think at all they looked at the foul, and the referee was waiting for VAR to make that decision for him rather than doing that decision or even going to look at that foul again and using the screen. That's what should have happened. The referee should have made a decision on it, because I think everything I've seen and read and all pundits definitely said it's a reckless challenge. I mean, he may not have intentionally gone in there to hurt him, but he was reckless, and that warrants a red card. Doesn't matter if it was offside or not. It happens. And then end of the game, another 93rd minute. You think you've won the game, and you've lost it by a toenail. It's frustrating, to say the least, but that's the way that VAR is. If that's I thought they changed that from last year. So last year they were going to say these marginal decisions weren't going to happen anymore, and it was going to, if there was clear and obvious, then they would go with the forwards. And I was listening to TalkSport today about it, and they were saying with VAR it should be about actually offside was brought in to make sure that forwards weren't getting a clear advantage from being offside. How is that an advantage? You're back toward goal, or you're inside on, or whatever, and you're a millimetre off. That's not a clear advantage. There's nothing there. So it's just going into the rules by the T, and it's kind of frustrating, but I've had to let that one go. A draw at the end of the day is better than a loss, so I would take that. But I'm just more aggrieved by the fact that the red card situation happened and the referee didn't make the decision on it.
Boo-hoo.
No, me and Phil was having a little chat very briefly before we signed on, and what the Premier League have come out and said is that challenge was looked at, which is why they're not taking retrospective action on Jordan Pickford. Now, I find that slightly hard to believe, because although I think keepers should clear their lines and take the player if you need to, which he quite clearly did, it wasn't the best of challenges. But it was Derby Day, so it's sort of to be expected a little bit. But why wasn't the pitch side monitor used? That's the big question.
Yep.
Because it should have been. It should have been, go and have a look. Quite simple. Job done.
To help the referees
with the
amount
amount
they've missed.
No, I was just going to say, with the amount of time that they were trying to sort out his injury, that could have been time that VAR could have checked the challenge, told the ref to go over, and by the time he got up and off the pitch, that decision could have been made. I agree with that. That was going to be something I was going to say.
Now, I did put up a status on Twitter about Liverpool fans not being too happy about it. So, with that being said, I'd done some research into decisions that were made that VAR looked at and were given incorrectly in Liverpool's favour. So, I'm not talking about, because they have had some that have gone against them, with offsides being incorrectly called. I will state that. But there are some real howlers in here that have gone in their favour. So when you look at that in comparison, okay, yes, it was bad. It was a bad challenge. But at the end of the day, swings and roundabouts. So Mane's elbow on Kieran Tierney. That was looked at by VAR. Nothing happened with that.
Elbow, or was it? It kind of was his forearm.
But it doesn't matter. He smashed him in the face with his arm.
Yeah,
it's a straight red.
It was elbow. The contact started here and moved down as he hit him. So there was no intention for that. You saw him look around, look for him, and arm went up.
So these are things that there are things that VAR didn't look at. I can't count them because VAR hasn't looked at them. It would be unfair to say they should have looked at that. Mohamed Salah's dives. Now, we all know that he went to the Chelsea school of diving before he went off to the continent and come back to Liverpool. 2 against Palace, 1 against Newcastle, 1 against Brighton, 1 against Chelsea, and 1 against City. All of those led to yellow cards or goals, or goal scoring opportunities from free kicks or penalties. So I haven't included ones that VAR didn't look at or didn't go to yellow cards or led to goals, essentially. Just fairness, but VAR looked at all of them and they were all, I mean, I've looked up footage and photos, can't show them for copyright reasons, but they were all quite clearly go, oh, hang on, how did he not get a yellow for diving? 2 more incidents. Trent Alexander-Arnold, when you played Man City last year, before you shake your head, he handballed the ball twice in your 3-1 win over City. 1 led to a goal on a counter-attack, and it wasn't given as handball. 1 should have been a City penalty, and it wasn't given. Both in the penalty area, taken away from clear goal-scoring opportunities. VAR looked at both of those and ruled it as no problems. Trent Alexander-Arnold, in his post-match interview, and I quote, "Yes, it did. Both of them did hit my hand. I was just lucky to get away with it." So you can't shake your head. He admitted he handballed it twice, and he was just lucky to get away with it.
And about the one that came off someone else's hand onto his hand.
Doesn't matter. I'm talking about the 2 that VAR looked at, not other ones.
Yeah, one of those was coming off Bernard Silva's hand onto his hand.
Doesn't matter. He still both of them handballed it.
Handball.
Still handballed it. It went in your favour.
Who handballed it? Who handballed it first?
But it doesn't matter. It went in your favour. And then a goal against Wolves, handballed by Adam Lallana on his shoulder, and then Van Dijk handballs it to control it, boots out the field, not given. VAR looked at every single one of those incidents and said it was fine. So, okay, yes, you've had 2 in this game that are absolute howlers, but you've had several that are absolute howlers that have gone in your favour.
Yeah. It's also
Diego Jota against Arsenal.
This is the thing is. And I'm not tainting every Liverpool fan with the same brushes, but there's a lot of hate. Over 7,000 Liverpool fans have signed up a petition for a bloke to lose his job.
The referee should have made the decision. That's all I'm saying.
He did make the decision. He made the decision that VAR said it was fine.
Yeah, but he should have gone and looked at it. That's the only thing. And I don't think all this hate for Pickford's correct. I think there's a lot of it's just well over the top. Derby game, things happen. He didn't mean it. Move on. Game's done.
See, now we've been taking the mickey for a while now, haven't we? About saying, "Oh, you're going to be unbearable as a Liverpool fan now. You've won the Premier League." I think that's true of most Liverpool fans. of when the littlest thing on a derby day, usually Jamie Carragher in there would have been clearing people out. And he did every derby day. He was clearing people out without a problem. And if VAR was around, he probably would have received a lot more reds than he did. But he's the first person to jump on the bandwagon saying it's horrendous and this is that and that would never happen. And it's like he's been sent off. He's been sent off in a couple of charity games, kicking the hell out of people, let alone Derby Day. You know, the amount of stuff that has gone in Liverpool's favour recently. Last year, all the media outlets were calling Liverpool Liverpool because of the amount of decisions that you were getting going your way. So it is just very frustrating to see the amount of bad decisions that have gone for lots of other clubs, and then two go for you, or don't go for you, and you go, throw your toys out the pram, and it's just a big fuss, you know. Like, get on with it. It's a game. You should. If you're gonna win. Score 6 goals. You know, don't go. Oh, we've had 3 bad weeks. We deserve more decisions. They looked at it. That's what they've said. Premier League VAR looked at Jordan Pickford, so you can't then retrospectively ban him if you've already looked at that incident.
He's checking something online now.
Lanzini,
he's going to call you out on West Ham stuff.
Well, I think he can do. I don't care.
Tempted, but I won't.
But I'm not saying we haven't had decisions go our way. We've had decisions go our way. Decisions not go our way.
It's life. It happens in every team. So the bit that
frustrates me is the amount of hate towards referees and everything else. They've got a very difficult job because one way or another, someone's going to be unhappy. This week it was Liverpool fans are unhappy. Okay, next week it'll probably be Sheffield United fans that'll be unhappy because something won't go their way. But that's life, you know. They retrospectively have banned 2 players for diving. They've not banned Salah ever. They've not banned Ashley Young ever. Like, you know, it's who are 2 players who are known for their diving. 2 players never got retrospectively banned. If we want to look at everything retrospectively, people are not being relegated. People are being relegated. People are winning titles. People are not. You know, it's part and parcel of the game now. Yes, it's frustrating, but get on with it. But yeah, so I did do a little bit of research, and I did look at videos and photos myself. I didn't just take out one article and go, "Oh, here's that." I looked at several things and verified some, because there were some that went on a list that when I did a bit more deep diving into it, was like, no, there's no way that's not a clear foul. That was a correct decision. So, yeah, I will say that. But more positive, we've got more football coming next week.
Whoop. Oh yeah, there's Champions League game as well.
There is Champions League game.
Do you guys know about that?
I don't care about Champions League, mate. Champions League for suckers.
Yeah, it's shit competition, mate. Europa League's where it's at.
I'm just gonna. I'm sticking with. I was gonna stick with League Cup, but Everton knocked us out of that. Pickford should have been sent off in that one as well. That's all I'm saying. No.
All I should say is Pickford out of number 1 for England. Doesn't need to be there.
Oh yeah, no, he's certainly not number 1. England number 1. I don't think so anyway. But Mike.
Yes.
Scores on the doors, please, if you will.
So it was a pretty poor week for you guys, actually. I think the Everton Liverpool game, it definitely helped me out for that weekend. I had that down as a 2-2 draw, and lo and behold, the draw come in.
So, what are you saying? Are you the person who was at Stockley Park? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
You didn't see me Saturday, did you?
I didn't, no.
But then, no, definitely wasn't me.
Fantastic.
So, I was lucky. You Arsenal should have scored against Man City, and I would have got some points.
We should have, but we didn't. Just going back on that whole VAR thing, there's loads of people saying that we should have had a penalty for Kyle Walker with a high foot. To be honest, I looked at that decision and I was a bit like, I don't think there's an... Had he hit Gabriel, yes, I would have said, yeah, penalty. But, I mean, there was a clear football distance between the two. So that's just my 2 pence on the matter. That's my VAR controversy for this week. So yes, we had three games: Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal, Man City, and Tottenham, West Ham.
Yep.
I come away with 4 points. You two come away with 0. So the stand-ins for the FDT-TV season It has all changed. I go into the lead with 14 points, Phil on 10, and Ian on 8.
Surely I should get a bonus point for Lanzini's goal.
No, West Ham should.
Riding on the coattails of others, like most certainly, extra point. Justice for Lanzini.
I will point out that actually I've caught up on the fantasy league from starting a week behind.
That's not our fault. You started a week behind.
That's not important, mate. Well, you're not playing for this in the fantasy football team, are you? You're not playing for that. That's what it's at. That's what it's at. So yes, moving on to this weekend's fixtures, boys. We've got West Ham versus Manchester City, Liverpool versus Sheffield United, and Arsenal versus Leicester. So we'll start with you, Ian, as it's the first game of the weekend.
Okay,
West Ham versus Manchester City.
What I will say is we started slow against Tottenham, and that can't happen again. If I'm honest, I feel like we're scoring goals at the minute, and we'll probably keep on that track. But we're not keeping clean sheets either. So City are looking like a bit more of a fuller squad now. They've got to start their season at some point. I just hope it's not against us. We don't generally play well against them, and there are controversies in those games where we score goals that get disallowed for no reason. But I've gone a little bit more confident than I did last week. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I can just see us getting a point out of that game and being phenomenal.
Mr. Bannerman, off you go.
Yeah, so I was talking to Ian about this beforehand, and I'm going to give West Ham a lot of credit for this one. I think Man City haven't been playing at all well. They're still getting used to certain things, injuries that have happened, new players coming in. They haven't been scoring great. And that could be their weakness. And West Ham have been playing really well, and it's a home game for West Ham as well, which could do them the speed of not having to travel. They'll be fresher, and that could come into handy. So I'm going to 2-1 West Ham.
Wow.
If we come away 2-1, I'll be absolutely ecstatic.
I've kind of gone the other way. I think Manchester City, they did have a pretty good pressing game against us. They were good at blocking off all the channels, closing down really well. There was a couple of times we managed to kind of break through the barriers, but just unfortunately didn't have the enough goal to get us a goal. But they've got Aguero back now. He's back, and I think this could be the game that they start to fire on all cylinders. I'd say they were probably in the third or fourth gear against us. They got the result, but I think coming up against West Ham, I think is when it will all click, and I've gone for 2-4.
Well, you know what that means? That means someone's getting 3 points. That is what that means. I mean, you could start to open
3 points or just 1 point.
What?
Someone's getting a minimum of a point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
one
okay.
Point for a correct result.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course it is. And 3 points for a correct result. Yeah, okay. But you could start to pull out a little lead here, Mike.
Could do.
He's hoping I want to retain that title.
Mate,
it's going to be a goalless 0-0 draw.
You bring up the rear, aren't you, mate? You get it from behind. That's where it's at.
It's usual position.
So moving swiftly on, Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Bill Shaw boys.
Yeah, it's going to be our boys, and Sheffield's haven't been playing great so far this year, and I think that's the good thing about this, and gives me some confidence that we'll come into this wanting to win, get back that train rolling again. I mean, we've got the players in the squad to come in and take over the injuries. Hope Thiago's not too bad and can come back in, and I think Matip's having a scan at the moment to understand the potential injury from him. So We could got Fabinho who can play centre back. We've got Milner who could go in there. We've got Gomez, so it's not too worrying. The attack's still there. They're still scoring. Mane's back. So I'm going 3-0 Liverpool.
3-0. That's a confident one, especially with Adrian in goal, mate.
That's what I was going to say.
Go on. Who you want next, Mike?
No, you go for it, mate.
Okay, so Adrian in goal, no Van Dijk, potentially no Matip. All right, you've got Mane back, but Sheffield United have got a new fella, haven't they? Who knows Liverpool very, very well in Ryan Brewster. I can see him coming back to be a little bit of a haunting for you. So I've gone 2-1 to Sheffield, even though they've been playing like dog poo this year. That's my prediction.
I'm sure there'll be something in his contract saying he won't be able to play.
No, they bought him.
Yeah. Oh, you never know.
What a stupid state. Do you think they would have bought a player if they turned around and said, yeah, you can buy it, but he's not allowed to play against us?
He's only allowed to play against 76% of the league.
Yeah.
Oh,
buyback clause. We've got other clauses in there. You never know.
Yeah, you do never know.
Yeah, but they might
do
just
never know.
If that is a clause, I think if that's the case and we can find out the reason, if he doesn't play, that's the reason why I think we should give Phil an extra point.
Yeah, all right, I'll deal with that.
I think that's only fair. With him calling
No,
that.
because they'll come out and say he's injured.
No, you got to find definitive proof. That's the reason why, isn't it? Oh, brilliant! Don't make me laugh.
Right,
it hurts.
My prediction. I think Sheffield United haven't really had a good start this season. Liverpool have been a little bit hit and miss, and obviously they have got injuries to a few key players. I too will echo the fact that Adrian is in goal. He has pulled out some unbelievable saves for you in the past. I think it's purely possibly a confidence issue that he's got at the moment. I have put you down for a win, but I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Liverpool.
Oh.
And lastly, my boys, Arsenal versus Leicester. This is a bit of a tricky one for me because I don't know. Well, I've obviously written my score down, what I think is going to happen, or I hope to happen. We come off the back of a cup win against Leicester, which was a very much, I appreciate, a changed team. Jamie Vardy loves coming to Arsenal and scoring goals, or scoring goals against us, full stop. I don't think that Arsenal have hit the best that they have hit. We saw glimpses of it on the first game against Fulham, and since then we've been a bit of a damp squib. I will hold my hands up and say that. But we play better at home than we do away. And our record against Leicester, I'd say, is a pretty good record. So I'm going to put us down for a 3-1 win.
Interesting.
With Aubameyang to score as well.
Go
Because
on.
he hasn't scored since.
Yeah, go on, Phil. I'll let you go next.
I was going to say, you haven't played well since Fulham, but who said you played well against Fulham? And has Fulham played really bad, which has been proven since they haven't yet to win it again? But there's something to think about, Mike.
Well,
Fulham just played poor and made you look really good.
It's a fair comment.
Anyway, I still think you're going to beat Leicester. I think Leicester are not in form at the moment. They're missing Sancho and will be for a while, and he's been making a difference at their back, their defence. They don't seem to be scoring a lot of goals recently, even though they did beat Man City. They kind of thought, that's it. We've done the thing. We've done the best thing we can do this season. Our season's finished, and they just haven't turned up since. They got Leeds tonight, though, so we'll have to see what happens there. And they got Wolves, sorry. Have they? No, don't worry about it. Ignore me. That's Leeds and Wolves tonight. But Leicester, I don't think they've got much in them at the moment, and so therefore I'm going to go for Arsenal 2, Leicester 1.
Okay. So as Phil said, the big Turk Soyuncu is out for 3 months. So that's a big miss for Leicester. I feel Jamie Vardy won't be having a party this time round. There's a little pun for you. I think
that one.
I think Thomas Partey will be sitting in the middle of that midfield. I think you'll see a lot more attacking from Arsenal this week, knowing that Leicester have defensive frailties about them at the moment, and they've got to fill a big gap in the defence. I do think we'll see Aubameyang on the score sheet, not only because I can now say his name properly, but just because he is a quality player. I've gone Arsenal 3, Leicester 1. So that's my prediction. Phil,
yes.
Because obviously your team was hard done by this week, can you give us a word of the week?
Anytime you're here.
Just
it went cut out for a minute.
Oh,
I said, because you're hard done by this week.
Can you give us a word of the week, please?
Okay. Hashtag referee.
After referee. That's the word of the week, referee. Just or just leave an awkward silence in the comments. That also works.
And we've been getting that a lot.
Oh my lord!
It was annoying. I was handcuffed during that game. I couldn't even see the result.
What?
I don't want to know what you get up to your weekends, mate. Between you and your missus, you keep that between yourselves.
How can you say that was a clear red card if you were handcuffed and couldn't see? Terrible.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
Typical Liverpool fan.
Because there's replays. You can easily watch it back after the event.
Right. Any other business? That's always a good one. It encompasses everything, doesn't it? So go at it, boys.
Raise this whole paying for the games.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, when we talked about it last week, I thought, okay, they're going to bring in and we're going to be able to watch the 3 o'clock games that everyone else in the world gets, and we don't.
Yep.
And as there are no fans going to these games, we might be able to suddenly start watching 3 o'clock games. And then you look at what games have been on Sky Box Office or whatever it is to pay for these games. How many are at 3 o'clock?
5 usually, I think.
Yeah, I think because the traditional way that the seasons has been run previously, we would normally see possibly 3-4 games around about the 3 o'clock mark. But because we've got such a tight fixture congestion, we're now seeing less games in the day, but more games throughout the day, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
So what I mean by that is that you would have normally, or traditionally, you'd have your 12:30 kickoff, 3 or 4 3 o'clock kickoffs, and then 1 5 o'clock, or the Saturday night football, which is the 5:30. But you're now seeing the 12:30, 3 o'clock, 5:30, 8 o'clock on a Saturday, and then you're also seeing 12 o'clock, 2 at 2:30, 1 at 4, and 1 at 7 on a Sunday.
Yep.
But that's no difference. Why not play more than 3 o'clock?
Because you need to take other teams' fixtures into account. So if you look at teams in the Champions League, teams in the Europa League, they've got
every season though. Why spread it out over a longer period of time during the day? It makes no sense.
I've got to agree with Phil here. I don't care about other teams' fixtures. If they all play extra games in the Champions League, that's not my problem.
And it's always been not the problem. Like you're playing Saturday, Sunday. Why spread it out across Saturday? Why spread it out across Sunday when it should just be the same? It seems that they're making more available to TV and the fixtures more available to sell.
I think that's definitely more likely happening.
I am interested to see how much of this money goes back into the club or into the clubs that are watching it, whether they're taking or how much of a chunk the broadcasters are taking for their part, and how much then goes into the clubs, because obviously they can't get fans in at the moment, so it does make sense. It would make more sense for the team to be able to stream their own game.
Yep.
Because then you could pay money directly to the club, and then you'll be able to watch their games, and they start getting the revenue back in, which means they won't collapse. Because if you think about the number of people around the world that would support your particular club, there's going to be millions and millions.
Yep.
Unless you're a Liverpool fan. Then I'm joking. But do you know what I mean? It would make sense that we take the initiative, or the clubs to take the initiative. I get there's TV rights and all that sort of stuff, but it seems stupid that the club should be able to offer its own TV/subscription service where they would be able to play that.
Well, you're replacing match day tickets at that point, aren't you? By that's essentially what you're saying. You're saying a virtual match day ticket. What I will say is, from what I've seen happening, is there's no pre-match build-up. There's no post-match interviews. There's nothing like that. It's literally a holding screen to say kick off at this time. It comes on. It goes on. Adverts throughout half-time. As soon as it finishes, close it off. That's it. There's no... Right. But for 15 quid, you're going to want a little bit of stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
Especially, true. I mean, there was a French guy I had a little to and fro from on Twitter, was saying that he pays €9 a month for every Premier League football game.
What?
Morning, noon or night, 3 o'clock kickoff, 12 o'clock kickoff, Monday Night Football, BT, Sky, whatever it is. They have a thing out there. It's €9 a month, and he gets to watch every game, any game he likes. So this is directed at people living in the UK. It's not directed around Europe or around the world. It is UK based, which makes it, I think, even more ridiculous.
Yeah, especially when I think the next game you have to pay. I was looking at the results for like the upcoming weekend. So ours is Liverpool Sheffield is on Sky Box Office at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Really? That game is normally showed on TV, no problems. Sunday, 7:15, Arsenal Leicester City on Sky Box Office.
Oh, balls to that.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of the games are normally you get 3 games on Sunday. They'll all be on TV.
Yeah.
On Saturday you'd get the 2:30, the 12:30 would be on TV, the 5:30, and the late game would be on. And now it's just the early game. The 3 o'clock game's not on TV. It might be a BT, but you never know. Man United's on Sky, and then you have to pay for the late game. It's just doesn't make sense to what they come out.
The trouble is the only way there will be any change, the same within football with VAR, is if people start to boycott it.
Yeah.
If people don't buy it, they will have to change it, because they'll go, we're spending money here to do this and no one's taking it up, or we're not making as much money as we want to, so let's change it. Same with VAR. As we said previously, if you want it to change, don't turn up on match day. You haven't really got a choice at the moment, but don't tune into it. Cancel your Sky subscription, cancel your BT subscription.
That's to ring up Sky and cancel mine, because I'm paid off the whole situation.
But that's,
and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? For other countries, and this isn't a racist slur or anything like that. It just it frustrates me that it's for the English Premier League, and yet we seem to be getting ripped the arse out of in order to be able to watch it. We've got the highest match day tickets in the world. For when games are in there, and you're now having to you pay your Sky, your BT subscriptions. Amazon Prime are now showing some games as well. You're now having to pay 15 quid for the occasional game that's not being viewed on telly. And I appreciate other clubs need exposure on TV as well in order to get the money to be able to survive.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you've got, as you said, you've got other kind of France. €9 a month, and they can watch everything. I remember going over to Dublin a couple of years ago, and we just walked into a pub. Manchester City had just finished, and I knew it was coming up to 3 o'clock. Arsenal were playing West Ham, and I was like, it's going to go on to Gillette Soccer Saturday. I'll just be able to like peer over the missus' shoulder just to keep an eye on the score. They had the game on.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been in the middle of Africa. I was in Africa a few years ago, and their coverage of the Premier League is amazing.
Yep. But that's because we have just exposed this. What's the word? expendable cash as a population that we will spend on anything. They will go, here you go, here's this, and they're going, oh, okay, I'll pay it. No one goes, I ain't paying that. If you said in France, well, okay, to watch your team play, it's going to be £15 a game. They'll have a riot in the street about it, because that's how they do things, and that's how they get changed. We don't do that. We just go, oh, okay, I'll pay that. It's a bit like internet speeds and cost. We are rated number 1 for cost to get high-speed internet. There are third world countries in Africa who have higher internet speeds than the UK. Yet we pay 86 times what they do for it. But that's because theirs is brand new theirs is brand new put in, but we will. Do you want to switch? No, because it's hassle, because we've got to sit on the phone for 45 minutes for someone to go, we'll offer you a new deal, and this, that, and the other. But that's, don't be happy with it. What I would suggest to you is, in as a safe way as possible, go down to your local non-league team and pay their £4 to get in and watch the football. That would be a much better way, if you can do it safely and be socially distanced and make sure that you're going to be all right. Go and do that. It will benefit football a lot more, and it will also show Premier League that no one wants their service of bullshit.
That's not even patronising. I really think that's a good message.
Say, providing you can do it safe. If it's not safe to do, then don't do it, because obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic, and there are serious
restrictions out there.
Yeah, but there are serious implications if you don't stick to these rules. People get ill, they die. So it's providing you can do it safely and you can keep covered and you can keep away from people, go and support your local non-league club, because they're the only people who are allowing crowds in at the moment. A little bit controversial, but because some of them don't have the ability to be able to put things in place that some of these other big clubs do, but that's the way the government have ruled it, and the Premier League have ruled it, and the EFL have ruled it. So, hey ho, go and support your local club. Even if it's turning up on a Saturday or Sunday or Saturday, whenever you play, to go and watch the free ones over the park. You know, go and show support there. I don't say that very often, because especially when it's horrible and cold out. But
as it is now.
Yeah, and obviously if you've got COVID, then stay indoors, you dickhead.
We don't want your germs.
Did you hear about? Here's a football-related COVID story. Wayne Rooney. Was it 8 hours before kick-off? His friend, who he knows has COVID, come to visit him, and he let him in.
Apparently, he didn't know he had COVID, and he told him afterwards that he had it, and he got really angry at him.
I suppose he didn't try and knock him out, though, did he? That always goes badly.
Selfish.
Yeah, Ray Rooney has had a test and
come back
as well.
Negative, yeah. But surely, surely though, he should be reporting his mate and getting him done.
Yeah, I would.
Because that's, who else has he done that to? Who else has he come in contact with? It's really not on, is it?
No, that's not on at all.
I mean, you're putting you're not just putting him at risk, because he might test negative, but he may be carrying it now.
Yep.
So
that's it. He's got a family, isn't he?
Yeah. But hey ho, shall we? Has anyone got anything more positive? Another awkward silence. That's always good.
There's football again this week.
Yeah, there's no more
Champions League.
No more controversies until the weekend, please.
West Ham didn't lose.
It's good.
And Liverpool didn't lose.
Project Big Picture. Just a recap on that. Has totally been scrapped now.
In the bin.
But I'm pretty sure that I did mention this last week. I think Liverpool, Manchester United should be boycotted from the league, because they said, "Oh, if you don't do it, we're going to leave." So there's a door.
Yeah.
Off you go. See how well you do on your own.
Throw them in the Scottish League.
And that's not necessarily the club, but the owners. Who said that?
So it gives a chance for Arsenal to get in the top 4 for once.
They'll finish in the top 4 anyway. But no, do you not think though that's a bit taking the mick, because they've said under the umbrella of the club, if you don't do it, we're going to leave. They don't care what happens to that football club, providing it's making the money.
Yep.
If they was to be taken up on that offer, off you go.
That.
But it is that, I mean, Manchester United owners are rife for controversy, aren't they? They're not very well liked, the old Glazers. I don't know who owns Liverpool now, but no one likes Liverpool anyway. Apart from Phil. Phil likes Liverpool.
Isn't it the KGB or something in it?
No.
The KGB, weren't that the Russian people? KGB.
It's FSB.
No, FSB.
They own American
FSG,
people,
sorry.
don't they? They own
You're
a
talking
couple
about
of clubs.
FSB, which is like the Russian secret police, but it's the Fenway Sports Group.
Do you mean
Russian
the
secret
KGB?
the Russian. Hang on,
Yeah, it's also FSB as well, Mike. If you have a look it up,
Oh,
I thought they owned Chelsea, the Russians.
they do.
no, that's the
It's
mafia.
owned by
That's the
Americans.
mafia.
So who
They
own?
own
It is Americans, isn't it? That own Liverpool.
It's the Fenway.
Do they own other sporting groups, don't they, in America, or
Franchise.
franchises? Yeah, better word.
Yeah.
Who else do they own?
I think it's.
There's an NFL one, isn't there?
I think it's baseball.
Oh, baseball.
I
Okay.
think it's the Sox, Red Sox.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, no one really cares about baseball, do they?
Not in this.
It's like glorified rounders,
Oh,
isn't it?
I quite like it.
Yeah, Buffs and Red Sox.
Do you?
Yeah, no, I do. I do quite like baseball.
Is that because you don't understand
It's like
cricket?
the world's most boringest game.
No, cricket.
What's that?
No. World's most boring games to watch. The top three in that are golf, cricket, and tennis.
Yes, I'd agree.
Who watches
Unless it's
golf?
2020,
I like playing
2020
it.
It's quite good.
Golf can be quite good. Tennis is just like.
Yeah, but to watch
yes or no.
to watch golf on telly, to play golf, I quite enjoy. To watch it on telly, you've got to have nothing. Like, literally, do anything.
You're ill.
Throw paper bags into the air repeatedly and just watch them float. But that's more entertaining than watching golf on TV.
Have you ever seen baseball?
If we're doing that, can we get the plastic soldiers with the parachutes and just
Yes,
try them?
yes.
Because that'd be
Well,
entertaining.
that you're looking at maybe 15 to 20% more entertaining than watching golf on TV, and that's after doing it for 4 days. Because like you can't watch one round because that means nothing. It's like cricket games. Why are cricket games going for 5 days? What's the point? Do it in one.
So people
That
can
I
get
don't
pissed
know.
for 5 days. That's basically what it's about.
If you buy a ticket for the 5th day and the game's already over, do you know what? You don't get a refund. There's no cricket today, mate. Sorry, missed that. Should have come yesterday.
It rained off.
Yeah, they're
So
pointless. They're pointless sport. One day. Just do it on one day.
I totally agree.
One day international. That's all you need. Job done.
I need a
2020.
batsman to stand there for 8 hours, not trying to hit a ball.
Well, yeah. Just get in the way of that. What are coming in most exciting sports to watch? Fishing,
Football.
Football. Ice hockey.
mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Tiddlywinks.
Oh,
Tiddlywinks.
you know, guys, talk about martial arts. Did you see the UFC takedown recently? Where the guy grabbed his foot and he literally spun around and cracked him in the jaw.
Yeah, spinning back
It
kick.
was
Have
No, I
amazing.
haven't seen that.
you not? It went viral, mate. It was
It's
on the
absolutely
it was on the undercard of I can't remember who. There's a good
You need to
UFC
see
fight
it.
coming up soon, though.
Yeah, it's Khabib, isn't it?
It is. Have you been Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje? That'd be a good fight.
That's this week.
It is.
Yes, yeah, I saw an advert for that on BT the other day.
Coming in. Bonus point. Who's going to win?
The first one you said, I can't pronounce either of the names.
Habib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, him.
That one.
Yeah, I'll probably agree. You'll go
Who's the guy that beat
Conor McGregor.
what's his name? Yeah, I nearly said Rory McGregor then.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not him.
He's coming back as well, Conor McGregor. Fighting
Yeah,
Dustin
did say that.
Poirier. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah. I think Habib's going to go 30-0. And then I think he'll probably retire.
Why not?
Do you
Mainly,
not think there'll be one more fight with him and McGregor?
No,
Or do you reckon that ship has sailed?
I think that ship has sailed. I think he that got very personal, didn't it? I mean, Habib's dad passed away, didn't he? So this will be his second fight without him. And I just think he'll go 30-0, and he turned down like the ultimate fighter, didn't he, against McGregor? He said, "I don't need to. I've already showed that I'm miles better than him." But you never know. Money talks, innit? You say to him, "Here's 100 million quid." Maybe.
Not many people turn 100 million down, would they?
No.
I would.
He's not in it for the money. He showed that, didn't he? When they wanted him to, they held his purse. He went, "I don't want it. Keep it all." So
that's what I'd be like. Definitely.
What, for 100 million?
I don't need it.
I'll have your cut then.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
But you get in the ring. I'll be that bloke from Rocky.
Okay.
I can't think of his name.
Whispers in your ear.
Corner man. Phil can be Adrian.
We need crazy fast speed.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You be Mickey.
That's the one.
You be Mickey.
I'll get a funny hat. If you Mickey, I'll be Mikey.
Adrian.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we've covered a lot.
We're dying of death here.
We are. We've covered a lot of things this week. We've dragged on a lot longer than what we would have, but we've had a lot to talk about. So that's always good.
Big weekend.
It was a very big weekend. Derby days always are, especially when there's two of them. Yeah. So let's sign off. I've been Ian.
Yeah.
I've been Mike.
I've been Phil.
Thank you for
Enjoy the
watching
week.
or listening. Keep an eye out for upcoming videos such as lineup predictions and maybe something else. Who knows? If you're not subscribed, you'll never know. So, till then, we'll see you next week.
Bye.